Hello, this is Joe Wilson with another edition of Old School Boxing Talk. Um, wow, been a while since I've been on here. I don't do this like that because I'm working a lot. But let me get into a few topics I want to cover real quick. And excuse me because I'm going to ramble, and I just do that because that's just me. I don't give a fuck. So, um, I just listened to the Smoke City Mobcast. Brother, the Smoke City Mobcast, listen to them chop it up. Um, predicting a Mikey Garcia, Robert Easter Jr. fight. And it's funny, a lot of guys were early on, even myself, were saying, I like Mikey on this, I like Mikey in this one. But now, after listening to things, going back and watching Robert Easter and then looking at Mikey's resume, I don't know if this is as clean cut as I thought it was. See, I like Mikey Garcia. The one fight Mikey Garcia had where I thought he took the bitch way out was against Salido. Some little headbutt or whatever. He could have fought through that shit. And he took the bitch way out and he beat Salido by, I guess it was a technical decision. And that kind of soured me on Mikey because I felt Mikey took the soft way out. And that thing with Salido kind of soured me on him a little bit. But fundamentally, Mikey, I like Mikey. And Robert Easter is a big, tall, lightweight. I mean, Robert Easter, in a lot of ways, his size-wise reminds me of Hilmer Kenty. And if those of you who don't know who Hilmer Kenty is, Hilmer Kenty was one of Kronk's first world champions. He was a WBA lightweight champion. And Hilmer Kenty was a hell of a fighter. And Hilmer Kenty, like all Emmanuel Stewart fighters, Emmanuel Stewart made his tall guys fight tall. And use their height, use their reach, keep them on the outside, box, whatever. The one knock I will give, and a lot of people might yell at me about this, but the one knock I will give about Emmanuel Stewart fighters were they were not good body punchers. They were not good inside fighters. They were not good body punchers at all, for the most part. Anywho, Robert Easter Jr. is a guy who now he's training with Kevin Cunningham, and Kevin Cunningham did a pretty damn good job with Adrian Broner. I believe, and this is just my belief, that the 8th round of Broner Maidana is what ruined Adrian Broner. And I made this analysis in a couple videos back when I talked about Sergey Kovalev, and I made a prediction video of why I believe Sergey Kovalev wasn't going to beat Andre Ward, and he didn't, for this reason. Sometimes things happen to you in a fight and you just can't get over them. Mentally, you can't get over them. Mentally, they leave a scar on you that you can't shake. For me, I believe that the knockdown that when Maidana dropped Broner in the 8th round, from that moment on, Broner has not been the same fighter. The one in the 2nd round, he caught him. Okay, he caught him. That wasn't that bad because he caught Adrian. Adrian was clowning around. It caught him a little bit up balance, whatever, but he wasn't really hurt by it. But that one in the 8th round when Adrian was coming back, and they were going at it, and AB was getting his shit off, and AB looked like he was going to take over the fight. And Maidana caught him when AB was throwing his combinations. Maidana caught him, bang! Ever since that knockdown, when AB got up, AB's not been the same fighter. He doesn't throw those hands like he used to. He throws 1-2, and he looks for defense right away. Because that knockdown in the 8th round against Maidana shook Adrian to the point where Adrian's confidence was shaken. To the point where he doesn't throw them shots like he used to. He'll throw a 1-2, and then he looks to tie up or looks to go back on defense because he's so worried about what's coming back at him. Early on, Adrian didn't worry about what's coming back, and he just pop, because nobody hurt him. Maidana hurt him. That knockdown in the 8th round hurt him. And I think that mentally scarred him because Adrian hasn't been the same fighter since that 8th round since that knockdown to Maidana. Since the whole that Maidana fight totally changed him. Okay, that aside, now back to Easter and Garcia. Kevin Cunningham done a great job. He was the trainer of Corey Spinks. He trained Devin Alexander. So he knows how to get the best out of the fighters he has. Excuse me. I remember watching Corey Spinks when he outboxed, I mean totally outboxed Ricardo Mayorga. And this was at a time when Mayorga beat Six-Head Lewis for the WBA welterweight title, and Six-Head Lewis was a good up-and-coming welterweight. He won the title, and he was supposed to be something special. And he ran into Ricardo Mayorga. And Mayorga knocked him out and took that belt. And then, a couple months earlier, Vernon Forrest had beaten Shane Mosley. And I mean that fight there, that Mosley-Forrest fight, that first one, the fact that Shane Mosley wasn't knocked out is a miracle. But he beat Shane. Vernon Forrest then beat him again in a rematch. So Vernon Forrest is riding high now. Vernon Forrest is the man. He's riding high. So he goes into the fight Mayorga. It's a unification fight. So everybody's thinking, okay, Vernon going to come in here. He's going to pick this boy apart, when it's going to be over. Vernon going to pick him apart, win a decision, take that belt. Didn't work out that way. Because Mayorga caught Vernon. Because Mayorga was an unorthodox puncher. Caught Vernon. Knocked Vernon the fuck out. And everybody was shocked. Was shocked that, wow. But then Corey Spinks came, and Corey Spinks just handled this guy like Corey boxed him. I mean, Corey totally boxed him. Even when they fought again in the rematch, Vernon Forrest was one of the better boxers. For some reason, Mayorga was just so crazy that he couldn't get him. Mayorga got the decision in the rematch. Corey Spinks came in there and just outboxed him. Totally outboxed him. Did whatever he wanted to him. And Kevin Cunningham trained him. And Corey Spinks was a damn good fighter for a little run there. The problem with Corey was the main problem with Corey is, one, he had no punch. And two, he had a very suspect chin. Some days it showed up, some days it didn't. But by getting the most out of his fighters, Kevin Cunningham has been good at that. And now, people are saying, is this training camp, 8-10 weeks, enough for him to change Robert Easter? You don't have to change Robert Easter. All you got to do is get Robert Easter to use his natural God-given ability, that jab and that right hand. And the fact that Robert Easter can rumble on the inside is a plus. You just got to let him know when to do it and when not to. If Robert Easter can go out there, establish his height, use his reach, establish the jab, keep Mikey at bay with that jab, not just throwing a single jab, but doubling and tripling up that jab. Up and down, head and body, up and down. And then slam the right hand, throw a hook to the body, whatever. But do it from the outside. Do it as a tall fighter so that when Mikey does bum rush into the ropes, Robert can bang his way off the rope and get it right back to the center. When Robert back Mikey up to the rope, Robert can go bang, bang, bang Mikey up to the body, get it back to the center. Because Mikey doesn't like it to the body. But Robert Easter has to fight. For Robert Easter to win, he has to fight a disciplined fight. Not a perfect fight, a disciplined fight. Which means he has to use his height, his reach. Because look, Robert Easter coming in this fight, Robert Easter's like 5'11". So I believe Robert Easter's probably cutting down to get to one. He's probably cutting down from, I wouldn't be shocked if he's cutting down from 160 to get to 135. And Mikey Garcia pretty about the same. Mikey Garcia probably cutting down from 155, in the same. Well, I think Mikey's cutting down from 155 maybe. But here's what I noticed, to get to 135. The thing I want to know is, outside of that cat that he knocked out for the WBC title, who I forgot his name and I never heard of him before Mikey knocked him out. Outside of that guy, I have not seen Mikey hit or hurt anybody else in his next fights after that. When he fought Adrian, he didn't hit or hurt Adrian. When he fought the kid at 140, he didn't bother him. I also felt that 140 was too big for Mikey, which goes into my next segment about Mike. My next thought about, should Mikey win this fight? Mikey talking about going to 147 to fight Earl Spence. Big mistake. Unless Mikey's cashing out, big mistake. You could barely hurt people at 140. You Adrian Broner, you barely, you couldn't do nothing with Adrian Broner, really. Adrian would have threw his hands, we would have had a different fight. At 147 against Earl Spence, Mikey Garcia is going to get destroyed. Because Earl is a devastating body puncher, and all the things that Mikey does well, Earl does better. And the strength advantage and the speed advantage and the ring IQ is pretty much equal. And the thing about it is, fighters plateau at certain levels. Mikey's here. Okay, Mikey's about here, and we don't know what he's going to do after Easter fight. Is he going to continue to go up? Is he going to plateau? Spence is here, and he's still going up. The difference, and here's another difference, and people underestimate this in boxing, but it's true. Hunger. Spence is hungry. Mikey Garcia is not hungry, because Mikey Garcia, what was it? He's not hungry. Mikey Garcia is not hungry. Mike Garcia's got there. He's got fat. Mike Garcia doesn't have any real gold. If Mike Garcia wanted to be something to really, Mikey's a belt collector. He jumps up from weight class to weight class. He's never been undisputed. This will be his first time unifying a title. And then he weight class. And this is one thing that bothers me about a lot of these fighters that come up. They haven't unified. They haven't been unified champion, let alone undisputed. And which is why I give so much credit to the undisputed cruiserweight champion we have. I gave so much credit to Terrence Crawford when he did it, because a lot of these cats aren't trying to do it. We had Keith Thurman, who was unified, but then Keith couldn't hold up his end of the bargain, and had to give up the BC belt. And now we've got all this other stuff going on. Now, Mikey Garcia, for the first time in his career, he's going to unify against Robert Easter Jr., another young champion. And this is the first time Mikey is fighting actually another young champion, first time he's fighting a young, hungry champion. And Mikey's never done it before. The guys Mikey's fought before, 4 titles. Salido wasn't hungry. Salido was like, before that, the guy before that wasn't hungry. And the WBC champion, that kid was and then the kid at 140. They were not really hungry. They won the belt. They were satisfied to be champions. They were looking to fight Mikey because that was the best payday. Robert Easter is not here for a payday. Robert Easter is here to create a legacy. You see, Robert Easter is a guy that's in this. He said, I need to beat Mikey because I want the Lomachenko fight. I want to I want to be undisputed at 135. He has that goal. Mikey is at the point of Mikey's career, because Mikey lost 2 years fucking around Bob Arum. Mikey's at the point where Mikey's looking to cash out. That's what Mikey's at. Mikey's at a cap place where Mikey's looking to cash out. Mikey's done so well outside of boxing that Mikey right now is looking to make me fight 2 or 3 more times, make big money fights, and cash the fuck out. Robert Easter Jr. is not looking to cash out. Robert Easter Jr. is trying to build his legacy. Robert Easter Jr. is still a young fighter who's very not well known, is not really making those big bucks. This is going to be his biggest payday. Robert Easter Jr. is hungry. And that's a dangerous combination. It's like when you look back at Rocky 3, where Clubber Lang was hungry and Rocky wasn't hungry. Rocky was a champ. Rocky was doing all this other stuff. And this fight here reminds me of Rocky 3, because you had the champion of Mikey Garcia, who's a better champion. He's walking around, he's doing all this other shit. Yeah, he's training, whatever, but he's doing everything else. And he's also talking about fighting Earl Spence. He's looking past Robert Easter. And you got Robert Easter, who reminds me, who's got that, Clubber Lang, hey boy, mentality. He's hungry. He's got the eye to tiger. Mikey, is in for something. Now, there's a side of me that thinks Mikey's going to win this fight. But there's a side of me that would not be surprised if Robert Easter won this fight as well. Because, like I said, I believe Robert Easter is a hungrier guy coming in this. I believe Mikey is looking past this guy. So I see this fight, I see this fight being a 115-113. Mikey Garcia, Mikey pulling it out 115-113 split decision. My pick on that fight. Because I don't think Robert's going to get a close decision. Mikey's pretty much the house fighter, so I think I could see Mikey getting a split decision, 115-113 on 2 cards. I'm on one. I could see something outlandish. Now, could I see a crazy scorecard out there? Absolutely. But for my money, I think this fight is going to be a 115-113 decision. I could see one judge having it for Easter that way, one judge having it for Mikey that way. Could I see one judge having some crazy scorecard? Absolutely. I could see one judge having it 116-112, which I think would be too wide. But would I be shocked if some idiot had it 117, whatever? No, because it's boxing. And these judges, I can see a judge that doesn't give Robert Easter very little of anything. The rounds this is what you need to look for in this fight. The rounds that Robert Easter wins, he has to win big. And I'm repeating this, any close rounds, even if you believe Easter won it, believe me, they're going to give it to Mikey. Robert Easter has got to win his rounds and win them big. Leave no doubt. He can't just, you get a close round there where nobody does much, but one guy just does a little bit, edge a little bit more. Any round is close like that is going to Mikey Garcia on those judges' scorecard. So Robert Easter Jr. has got to win his rounds and has got to win them clearly and convincingly. Because if the rounds are close, Mikey's going to get the benefit of the doubt. It's called the champion's advantage. And when scoring a fight, if the round is close, you usually give it to the champion. Now, even though there's 2 champions in this fight, Mikey's going to get the more of the champion advantage because they're looking, because Mikey's the bigger name, so he gets that champion advantage. Excuse me. We've seen certain fights where certain fighters get that edge, get that extra little something. The fight's close, but they'll give it to this guy because he's better known. A round is close, and you say, I should have went this guy, they'll give it to the other guy. The more popular guy will get the round. That's boxing. That's human nature. It happens. So my thing is, for me, every round Robert Easter Jr. wins, he has to win convincingly. Leave no doubt. Any close rounds that, even though we say, yeah, we like Easter, it was a tight round, we like Easter, I can almost guarantee you that the judges are going to go the other way and give it to Mikey Garcia because he's a bigger name. So, like I said, that's my breakdown of that one, and it is pretty much, I believe it'll probably be a 115-113 for Mikey Garcia, but I would not be shocked to see Robert Easter Jr. put in the performance of his lifetime and win this fight. Now, the one reason I do want Robert Easter to win this is because we have been promised that if Robert Easter Jr. wins this, that we will be able to have a special Smoke City Mobcast that night. So if the Mobcast, if the LDBC is gathering and the brothers are going to get together, then I'm rooting for that, and I want Robert Easter, because I've always felt that the Smoke City Mobcast, if you're a boxing fan and you're not listening to Smoke City Mobcast, then you're missing out on the best talk. If you're a boxing fan and you'd want to know what's really going on in boxing, not listen to guys that are affiliated with magazines and affiliated with networks, and the LDBC is the place to go. Black Fight Fan TV, 7-8 Sports. If you want to see a guy that does a real great documentary, Blood Boxing Returns is doing a documentary on the heavyweight division from 1979, when Ken Norton was awarded the WBC title, up until, I think he said he's going to do the 82, up until the end of Larry Holmes. I don't know, but if I would advise everybody, if you're a real boxing fan, go subscribe to Blood Boxing Returns. Grab those videos and go back and watch it, because I go back and watch because the blood is awesome. Like I said, also Eddie, the LDBC Junior, the Junior Truth, the brothers of LDBC, they're cooking it up, man. Got to get down with these guys, because they're going to tell you the thing. Here's the thing about the LDBC: these are guys that are fans like us. But they, like you got Black Fight fan. He knows Earl Spence. He knows the Charlo brothers. He's in the gyms. You know what I'm saying? He's a fan, but he's in the gyms like that. 7-8. Same thing. These brothers in the LDBC, some of them have press credentials. Fanon International. Fanon's a lawyer, so he knows about contract law. So usually if there's a question about a contract law, Fanon International, pull Fanon up and Fanon jump in there and be like, yo, man, blah, 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 yada, yada. The brothers in the LDBC is the stuff. The LDBC is what we in this new era of boxing need, because in the past, look, when I grew up in boxing, the media would tell you what they wanted you to hear. And that time when I was coming up, Bob Arum could come out there and lie to you and tell you anything. And here's the bottom line. For the time boxing stopped being a major sport, boxing has not really been covered that well. And then you might see a little article here or there, whatever, and what a spin they want to put on it. And the magazines were always beholden to the managers and promotional companies, and they would put the spin that the promoters and they wanted on it. With the LDBC and new media coming up there, now you're getting the truth. The brother Blue Blood just jumped in Anthony Joshua, and he did what myself and a lot of other fans have been saying. Asking, why is the American media disrespecting our heavyweight champ Deontay Wilder in favor of this British guy Anthony Joshua? Deontay Wilder won a bronze medal for the United States of America. Anthony Joshua won for Britain. So why is Anthony Joshua being treated like a king and we're treating Deontay Wilder like a pauper? But I've noticed that's been a pattern in our country, that we don't root for and support our fighters. We don't. Look, I don't know when the narrative changed, because I remember when I was a fan, Sugar Ray Leonard was the shit. Olympic gold medalist Sugar Ray Leonard. Him and the Spinks were treated with the uttermost respect by the boxing media. These guys were like gods. These guys were treated great. Roy Jones was treated fantastically. Because everybody seen Roy get robbed in the Olympics. We knew Roy deserved the gold, and he got robbed. The Pernell Whitaker, that whole team of 84, Whitaker, Taylor, Biggs, that whole team that won gold were treated with respect. Then somewhere along the line, here comes Oscar De La Hoya, won a gold medal, was treated with respect. But somehow after Oscar, the last American man to win a gold medal, Andre Ward, somehow they started treating Andre Ward like shit. I'm like, what the fuck happened here? What happened here? And it's been a narrative, and now Deontay Wilder, but finally, Blue Blood Boxing got into Anthony Joshua and that lying-ass promoter of his, got in their ass, asking them, question, when are we going to fight Wilder? When are we going to fight Wilder? They ran for the door. And then the American media started thinking about that shit. Hold on a minute. Why are we treating this guy like he's a god? Why are we treating this guy? Yeah, we do have a champion. And now the American media, thanks to Blue Blood and the LDBC, have gotten on. The American media is now saying to Eddie Hearns and to Deontay Wilder, hey, when are we going to see the Wilder fight? And now the American, how the hell do you sit there and offer, a man tells you, if you give me $50 million, I'll sign a contract tomorrow. Okay. And you give him $50 million, he turns it down. Then tell him, I'm not selling my soul. I'm not selling my belt for $50 million. Well, when you say you're not selling your belt for $50 million, that tells me one thing. You know you can't beat Deontay Wilder. Because you said it yourself. Without saying it, you said, I'm not selling my belt for $50 million. So, you're saying you can't beat him. You don't believe you can beat him. Your promoter doesn't believe you can beat him. And you know what? Even other fighters don't believe you can beat him. Even the quote-unquote analysts. Now, one of the guys who I'm very disappointed, and I've said this before, and I feel that he sold his soul. He sold his credibility for the almighty dollar, Teddy Atlas. I used to have the uttermost respect for Teddy Atlas. But when Teddy Atlas came out there with that bullshit telling Andre Ward and Terrence Crawford that, well, I believe Lomachenko's pound for pound #1. What the fuck? And this was right after Terrence Crawford won the unit undisputed. So, I know Teddy Atlas sold his credibility to ESPN, and what did ESPN do? Then when he said some shit about Manny Pacquiao, they kicked his ass off, and now he's a fucking studio analyst. So way to go, Teddy. You sold your credibility, you sold that, and then ESPN discarded you like you were nothing. And now people like me, boxing fans like me, who used to respect you and used to say, used to trust your word, we realized, Teddy Atlas, you like everybody, you can be bought and sold. And you've been proven you've been bought and sold. That's why it's important that we all support the LDBC, because the LDBC is us. We are the fans. We are the people that are paying for this shit. Without us, there is no boxing, there's no football, there's no basketball, without the fans, there is no sports, because we're the ones that pay for this. We're the ones that's buying the ESPN Plus app. We're the ones that buying Showtime. We're the ones that's buying maybe the HBO. We're the ones that maybe might buy the Zone. I won't, but, I'm sure people will argue. I'm sure there's a stream of that shit somewhere. But you know what I'm saying? We're the ones. And now, thanks to the LDBC, these promoters, these people in boxing, have to listen to our voice. Thank you, LDBC. Like Floyd Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather used to always say, thank you, Al Heyman. I'm going to say thank you, LDBC. Because you now made it possible that these motherfuckers have to listen to the voice of the fan. I'm not a member. I'm not a big top dig. Look, this is my passion. Boxing is my passion. I do this because this is what I love to talk boxing. And to me, this is therapeutic. I get to come on here. I get to get I don't do it as often as I used to. I get to come on here. I get to get off my chest my frustrations and my anger about what's going on in the sport I love. There's the sport I'm very passionate about. I love this sport more than any sport. This is a sport that probably of all sports is the earliest memory I have of sitting there watching boxing on ABC, Wild World of Sports, watching main events. Main events was on NBC, maybe on Saturday or Sunday. Wide World of Sports had boxing. Gil Clancy and Tim Ryan had boxing on CBS. That was how I grew up, man, watching boxing on Saturday and Sunday. I remember when the NFL strike happened. We were flooded with boxing. When and CBS had the NFL, them motherfuckers on strike. CBS should get some more boxing. I grew up with that, watching Salvador Sanchez. One Saturday I have Salvador Sanchez defend a WBC featherweight title. The following Saturday I had Xavier Petrosa defend a WBA featherweight title. I might have the WBC lightweight champion, fighting one weekend, and the following week I had a WBA champion. When I was coming up, we had 2 champions. Now we got 4. Ridiculous. But I'm not going to go there right now. Another thing I want to cover in this video is the stupidity. Yes, the utter stupidity of Eddie Hearns. Now, Eddie Hearns has signed Demetrius Andrade, who was a good Olympic boxer, and yada yada yada. Boo Boo Andrade is a very good boxer. Now, Boo Boo has a chance to fight Billy Joe Saunders for the WBO middleweight title. Well, he's going to fight him on DAZN. Slick Eddie, who he's, when Eddie heard to try to sign fights for this, for this DAZN app. Here's where Eddie Hearns was stupid and fucked up. Eddie Hearns also promotes Danny Jacobs, who is signed exclusively for HBO. So now, dumbass, you could have, if Danny Jacobs, let's just say Danny Jacobs is supposed to fight Devin Chaco for the IBF middleweight title. Let's just say Danny Jacobs wins that title. Danny Jacobs wins the IBF middleweight title. Okay, you would have the IBF middleweight title. Let's just say Andrade wins the WBO middleweight title. You would have 2 champions in your stable in the middleweight division, and you couldn't make a unification fight with them. Dumbass. And you know why? Because Danny Jacobs is signed to HBO. Boo Boo Andrade is signed to DAZN. How stupid can you be? Why would you have those two boys? That could be a big money fight. If both them boys win those belts, that's a big money fight. And your dumbass has one signed to your little platform and one to HBO. Which means until that HBO contract runs out, and hope if Dan Jacobs wins, you gotta hope he keeps that belt. Then maybe you could, jump over. Or what if the zone, the zone doesn't take off? Dumb business move, but this is Eddie Hearn. Then you turn around and you burn bridges here again with Showtime and HBO, because I know you don't want Anthony Joshua anywhere near Deontay Wilder. I understand that, and I said this a couple videos ago that Eddie Hearn, as soon as he got a chance, was going to get Deontay Wilder away from Showtime and go to HBO. I thought that's where he was going to go, because I knew he wasn't going to keep them both for the same network, because Showtime's like, yo, we got both the heavyweight champions here? Shit, we got to make this unification. And Eddie Hearn doesn't want that, because, Anthony Joshua's is cash cow. And I thought he was going to run HBO. I really did. Think he was going to run the HBO and then, protect. But then he ran to DAZN. And now you pissed off HBO. And you pissed off Showtime. So you better hope DAZN works. Because here's the thing is, why would you put Anthony Joshua on DAZN? Why would you make it exclusive with him in DAZN? Because you could have had a Povetkin fight on HBO. Now you're stuck on DAZN. And you know what's going to happen? People that don't get DAZN, we're all going to sit there and try to find a stream of it. Find a live stream, a free stream of it, and watch that shit. Because I don't think anybody's going to get the fucking DAZN app. I know I'm not. I don't see myself spending 10 more bucks for the DAZN app. To get what? To get what? Oh, excuse me, Anthony Joshua. See, this is where you're stupid. Eddie. You don't realize people are going to tape that fight, record that damn fight, and upload that shit to YouTube? Within a day after the fucking fight happens, it's going to be uploaded on YouTube? And it's just like with that Munguia and Jaime Munguia and the kid he just fought, Liam Smith. I watched that shit the next day on YouTube. Somebody recorded the fucking fight, upload that shit to YouTube. Son. That's a dumb move for you and DAZN, because ain't nobody getting DAZN. I mean, those that do get DAZN, they're going to do the same thing, upload that shit to YouTube. So those of us aren't going to get that bullshit. We just going to sit there waiting, and then, we'll hear about the result. All right, take the next day. Shit going to be up there. We're going to pop in there, Joshua versus Povetkin, and that shit's going to come up. We're going to watch the fucking fight. That's what we're going to do. And you're going to be sitting there talking about, well, the numbers were low. Well, yes, they're low, you dumbass, because nobody's getting fucking DAZN. People that do have DAZN, they're going to sit there and upload that shit to YouTube. Then we're going to sit there and watch the shit on YouTube. A couple more people will probably watch that fight on YouTube than go and watch it on DAZN. And then, here's another brilliant idea. You have Demetrius Andrade, who's from Rhode Island, fighting Billy Joe Saunders, who's from England, in Los Angeles. Really? A guy from the UK who nobody fucking knows, a guy from Rhode Island who nobody fucking knows is fighting in LA. Really, Eddie? You're going to take over American boxing by doing shit like that? Dude, you need help. I mean, I know that the LDVC and a lot of us have been kicking the shit out of you because, but Eddie, honestly, I don't know if this is going to go over, but I'm going to ask everybody in the LDVC and everybody in boxing in general, man, you know what? We need to leave Eddie Hearns alone. It's just getting too easy. It is. To pick on Eddie Hearns and beat on Eddie Hearns, it's just getting too fucking easy. I mean, this guy just does the dumbest shit. And for us to continue to waste our time beating on this guy, man, it's not even fun anymore. I mean, it's not even sport anymore. Before it was funny. It was he was funny. Now it's just fucking pathetic. It's like an ongoing joke. It's like, okay, I don't like this show, but bear with me here, folks. SpongeBob SquarePants had an episode where he split his pants. And at the first couple of times it happened, it was funny. Then after a while, he just started doing it because he did it more and more, and people just because it became annoying. That's why I'm with Eddie Hearns now. Eddie Hearns does stupid shit. In the beginning, it was just fucking funny and comical to listen to him lie and listen to him get caught in his lies and listen to him do stupid, say stupid shit, and do stupid shit. Now it's just fucking pathetic. It's fucking pathetic. Now I don't even want to pick on Eddie Hearns because it's just, there's no fun in it. You know, it's no fun in it. There isn't. You know, I'm just sorry. I mean, is he stupid? Yes. Do I dislike him? Yes. But he does so much stupid shit that it's just like, I really don't even feel like fucking with him because it's like, it's no fun anymore. It's just like, you're doing this shit, you're doing the same shit. It's like, it's just no fun in it. You know, the love is gone, the thrill is gone. So, you know, that's my take. And the final, I'm gonna close this out with this. I am very upset with Deontay Wilder. And here's why. Again, I inquire everybody who watches this video to go find Blood Boxing Returns with a Z. Find Blood's videos and his chronological thing on the heavyweight division. And this is what I think this is why I'm disappointed in Deontay Wilder. When Larry Holmes was the WBC heavyweight champion, and Mike Weaver was the WBA heavyweight champion, there was talk of John Tate. I'm sorry, let me rewind. Larry Holmes was the WBC champion. John Tate was the WBA champion. There was talk of John Tate, Larry Holmes fighting unified heavyweight titles. Larry Holmes earlier that year had knocked out Mike Weaver in the 12th round to retain his title. Later on that year, John Tate, making the first defense of his WBA title, got knocked out by Mike Weaver. So at that point in time, there was no big money unification fight, and people said, why did they unify the title? Because at that point in time, after that happened, nobody cared about Mike Weaver because we all knew who the champion was. It was Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes already beaten Mike Weaver. So there was no really rush for unification. And Larry Holmes realized there was no rush for unification. Larry Holmes forgot about it. He didn't even think about Mike Weaver. He thought about himself and started going out there and racking up title defense and title defense and title defense. Deontay Wilder is spending so much time chasing Anthony Joshua that he hasn't fought since the time he knocked out Luis Ortiz. And there's been more than enough time had Deontay Wilder just let that shit be and concentrate on himself. He could have maybe made 3 defenses this year. He could have fought Ortiz. He could have had 2 more fights in. You know, in the time it takes him. You know, he could have had a defense here. He could have had defense there and been ready to make another defense at the end of the year. Now maybe we're going to get him in the ring again maybe once more this year. But that's why I'm disappointed. Deontay Wilder, you're the heavyweight champion. Don't worry about Anthony Joshua. Run your race. You're 40-0. The magic number is 49-0. Run your race. You should be right now. You should have, after Luis Ortiz took some time, you should have been getting ready right now. Here we're in end of July going into August. You should have been you should have been made in the defense. And then getting ready to make another defense at the end of the year. There's records out there for Deontay Wilder to break. The most knockouts in title defenses, which is at 9. You have a shot at breaking that. Larry Holmes tied it. Couldn't break it. Because when he fought Trevor Berbick, matter of fact, Larry Holmes knocked out 8 straight. His 9th defense was against Trevor Berbick, and Trevor Berbick went the distance. Deontay Wilder has a chance to tie and possibly beat that record. Deontay Wilder should not be worried about Anthony Joshua because we already understand Anthony Joshua does not want to fight. What you need to be doing is building up yourself, build up your legacy. You are 40-0. You need not worry about Anthony Joshua because he doesn't want to fight. You should be more or less going on your way. And as you get close to that magic 49-0, you're going to get that props. You're going to get that. Because people are going to be, whoa, he's 40, he's 42, 43, 44. When you get close to Marciano, and everybody's going to start taking notice. And they're going to take more notice of you doing it than they did with Floyd because you're a heavyweight. You're a heavyweight. Rocky Marciano's 49-0 was, for heavyweights. It was, he was heavyweight champion. Yeah, Floyd won 50 fights. Whatever Floyd did, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, when people think about 49-0, they think about Rocky Marciano, they think about a heavyweight champion. That's what Deontay Wilder should be concentrating on. Worry about where you are. 49-0 is within reach. Breaking the record for the most knockouts in the heavyweight title defenses is within reach. Deontay Wilder has things within reach. Stop being held up chasing Anthony Joshua like he's the last whore the last whore in town, and you worry about this, what you should be doing right now. I'm disappointed because Deontay Wilder should already have been preparing for a fight now, and he should have another fight. Deontay Wilder should have fought 3 times this year. But instead of him not getting in the ring and getting himself together, he's chasing Anthony Joshua. And that, Deontay Wilder, is what makes you look thirsty. And you're not thirsty, you're better than that. So, this is Doe Wilkerson. Till next time, saying once again, subscribe to all the LDBC channels. Listening brothers, they're going to give you the truth. If you're a boxing fan and you want to see one of the best videos going today of stories of the heavyweight division, Blood Boxing Returns with a Z. That brother's putting this shit together. He's getting it on. And if you want to know about the history of boxing, you want to learn something. For you people that, just swallow me, you want to learn something, check out Blood Sting. Because even though I've been following this sport for a long time, it takes me back through memory lane. A lot of what Blood's showing, I've seen these fights, and I remember these fights. So y'all have a good one till we talk again. Be safe.